Everybody likes financial freedom. Everybody wants financial freedom. And the easiest and surest way to get financial freedom is actually to start your own business. But then, according to the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, up to 20% of newly opened businesses are going to fail within the first 2 years of opening. Up to about 45% of newly opened businesses are going to fail within the first 5 years. By the 10th year, about 65% of newly opened businesses would fail. Now, only a small percentage, that is 25% of businesses, will survive past the 15th year after being open. This usually happens for many reasons. People choose the wrong businesses for the wrong location. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you about 7 businesses that can perform anywhere across any country in Africa. However, I'm going to emphasize on those African countries that can take these same businesses to another level. I'm reserving a bonus at the end of the video about a business that you can do anywhere across the world with very little capital. And we are starting right now. If you haven't liked this video, I don't know what you're waiting for. It costs you nothing, but I assure you it's going to make the channel grow. So hit the like button. Let's move on. The first business we're going to talk about is laser curtain business. Now, this industry is going to be a breeze across Africa. Though, as I promised earlier, I'm going to cite those countries that are going to do far more better than others in this particular industry. Now, the laser curtain industry is going to perform extremely well for 3 main reasons. Now, the first reason is that there have been a growing desire for modern designs among Africans. And these modern designs require laser cutters. Now, this is the kind of business that is not going to go away right now. The first reason why this business is not going to go away right now is because, first of all, if you look at African homes, you see that 99.9%, I mean 0.99% of all African homes have what we call the window protectors. Now, these window protectors, at first in Africa, were just made using welded iron bars or iron rods. Now, things are actually changing. New designs actually require laser curtain services. Now, the thing is, new modern designs don't actually require welding. Now, those welding services are going to fade out in favor of the new laser curtain services. People actually like these new modern designs. But what they don't realize is that there is a new market, there is a new industry that is building behind their desire. Yeah, the desire for these designs is actually fueling a new industry. Now, the old design like this one needs totally different kind of materials and different kind of setups. Now, think about the millions of homes that are found across Africa. Now, in Europe, Canada, US, and most other countries around the world, you don't find this kind of protection at the window. It's difficult to find people building with this kind of protection at the window. Now, the next point why this is going to be the new sheriff in town is actually linked to the first point. It's actually a boom in the real estate sector across Africa. Now, this point is not about real estate. We're just talking about the boom of real estate that is going to push this sector, that's going to push the laser curtain service or laser business ahead. Now, across Africa, there is a boom in real estate, that is no doubt. But then some countries have experienced up to 400% increase in demand for modern commercial real estate services. We're talking about Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, and Egypt. So just imagine what laser curtain services can do in these countries. So you must not be somebody from Nigeria or from Kenya or from Ghana or from Egypt to set up a laser curtain business in one of these countries. You can come from totally any African country, or you can even live abroad and come and set up your business. This is an example of somebody from Sierra Leone who opened up his business in Nigeria, who opened up a real estate business in Nigeria, and is doing very fine. So we need to understand and keep that mentality away that you must be from this country before you invest in another country. You need to follow the trend. You need to follow the market trend. But then remember, I told you at the beginning of this video that every one of these businesses I'm going to cite can do well in any African country. So if you are from a particular African country, you can still actually do this business within your country and you're going to be just fine. Now, the third reason why the laser curtain business is going to do well in Africa is due to is its implication in the tile manufacturing, in the ceramic manufacturing industry. Now, many African countries have very great potential to produce tiles, but then nobody is doing this. Most African countries instead import tiles. Now, the majority of tiles in Africa is imported. Only Egypt is actually doing well in this particular sector. Egypt is actually producing 48% of all tile that is made in Africa. One of the advantages of doing this particular business is that you can work across different industries. You can also use different materials. You can use plastic, you can use wood, you can use iron, steel. In fact, the options are so much. You can start working at your home. You can install the machine, the laser cutting machine at your home, and start business very easily with no constraints. Now, the next business we're going to talk about is the packaging business. Now, the packaging business is a business that Africa actually needs. Africa actually needs this particular business. It's something that's actually putting many businesses under the carpet. Now, packaging. Now, before you click this video, you actually saw the thumbnail. That thumbnail is the packaging of this product that you are actually witnessing. Now, if you don't click the thumbnail, it means you can't actually watch the video, or you can't actually. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with packaging. When you go to the supermarket, a shop, you look at products at the shelf. If it's your first time encountering the product, if that product doesn't have a good packaging, you might not buy that product. You will not buy the product, not even there is no might in this situation. So packaging is very important, and many products in Africa are actually very good, but the finishing, that packaging, is actually the problem. Now, take a look at these two bags of feed. Now, this is poultry feed, for example. One is from Africa, the other is from the US. Now, while both of these feeds might have the same formula, what actually differs is the packaging. If you're a customer and you're asked to choose between the two, you would likely choose the one with a better package. But then, the other feed, the feed in the poor packaging might even have a higher quality than the other one. In Africa, most food products are usually organic, and most people in Africa don't even know that organic is a thing. In Europe, Canada, and the US, organic food is more expensive. Now, this is feed that is destined for animals, and the ingredients that are used in this feed is actually organic. But then, when you find both of them at the counter at the shop, you would prefer the other one because of the packaging. So this is the kind of packaging sometimes that you find in most African countries. So it is high time people start investing in packaging, because that is what actually makes the difference in business. Now, the packaging business can do very well in nearly every country in Africa. Okay, now that leads us to the third business that you can do in Africa.